Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your 8-2 worksheet video continuing on special right triangles. 45, 45, 90 is this guy right here. Again, across from the 45 are the x's, across from the 90 is x rad 2. And what we're going to do is go ahead and label all of our triangles to make sure they match up. So again, across from the 45 is x, 45 over here, x, and x rad 2. Okay, so to watch this video, you really want to listen to what I'm saying because there's sometimes not a lot to show. So here we go. For the first one, x is equal to 8, and so when we come over here, what are we going to plug in? We're going to plug in 8, and then down here, instead of x, we're going to do 8 rad 2. Okay, so again, we're using a pattern to fill it in, and hopefully we can kind of track with this. So here we got 25. And over here, see how they're both the same value. Now I'm kind of ignoring the y and the x right now, but this is 25, so this should be 25 as well. And that says y there, so we're going to do 25. And then again, the x equals 25, so we know this is going to be 25 rad 2. Alright, here's our first one that gets kind of tricky. 19 rad 2, x equals 19. And we actually in class came up with a little shortcut for this. And our shortcut was this. If we divide by 2, if we have a whole number in that x rad 2 position, we can divide by 2 and then multiply by rad 2. So what that would look like would be 19 divided by 2 multiplied by rad 2. Now here's our problem. 19 is not divisible by 2, so I can leave it like that, or I can convert this into I think 9.5 rad 2. So I don't usually like to do decimals like that, so we can do either or for this. For simplicity, since I don't have a lot of space, I'm going to actually do the decimal here. So 9.5 rad 2, 9.5 rad 2. Notice I have yet to pick up a calculator at all for any of these problems. Okay, let's continue on. And we look at 30, 60, 90 special right triangles. Across from the 30 is x, across from the 92x, and across from the 60 is x rad 3. So I'm going to quickly go through all of these and label them with the correct response. And so let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to do it in green so I can do my work in blue. So here we go. Across from that is x, that's going to be x rad 3 and 2x. Okay, so cross from the 90, cross from the 30, cross from the 60. Okay. So again, first step, always want to identify each piece, okay? So I did it quickly. I want to make sure that I got it right. So even when I'm doing it, I'm going to double check. So x is 5. So if I want to find this, I got to double it. So that's going to be 10. And then over here, I just get 5 rad 3. The best way to use this video is to make sure that you try these first and then go back and watch the video. And if you made a mistake, you can go over that problem. Over here, 14 is x, so for this one we can double it and we get 28. And then over here we get 14 rad 3. Over here we get 2x is our value here. So to find x, we got to divide it by 2, which is going to give us 16. And then we're going to use 16 rad 3. Again, no calculator yet, so we're feeling good. We got 2x here, so to find this piece right here, I got to take half of 46, which is going to be 23. And then we're going to do 23 rad 3. So here's the first one that gets a little tricky. And here, if you recall, we had this rule earlier. If we divide by 3, multiply by rad 3, we can figure out if I have a whole number what to do. So again, we have bit of an issue. If I take 20 and I divide it by 3 and then square root 3, it doesn't look very nice, but that's okay. This doesn't reduce, so we're just going to have to leave it That's going to go in for across from the 30, so this will be 20 divided by 3 rad 3, and then I'll double it for the hypotenuse. That'll be 40 divided by 3 rad 3. So this is definitely one of the little trickier ones, so we'll star that guy. Okay. If we look at this one, we can see that the rad 3 and the x are lined up, so this piece right here must be 9. And this piece right here is going to be double 9, and that's 18. Okay, let's flip it to the back. Okay, so look at all those. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to label these quickly. Again, we're given 45, 45, 90s mixed in with 30, 60, 90s. So we got to be very careful when we're setting this up that we don't make a mistake. Okay, so here we go. Right here, x rad 2 equals 28. Now here's another thought. Another way we could think about this is we could say, what would I multiply to rad 2 to give myself 28? Well, if I put a rad 2 on it, rad 2 times rad 2 is 2, and then I would have to do 14 times 2 to get to 28. It's kind of like our rule, divide by 2, multiply by rad 2. So I like dividing by 2 to give me 14, and then multiply by rad 2 to give me the second part. Okay. Over here, this one's pretty easy. We get 16 is 2x, so this is going to be 8, and then 8 rad 3. Over here, we're given x of 4, so we know this is going to be 4, and that's going to be 4 rad 2. Down here, we know 11 is given to us, so that makes 2x is going to be 22, and that's going to be 11 rad 3. Over here, we're going to get 15 rad 3. So the x and the 15 match up with each other, so this is going to be 15. That's going to be double it, which is 30. The 9 lines up with the x, so 9 must be the x. So this one's again tricky. I could ask myself what times rad 3 would give me 6. Well, if I do rad 3 times rad 3, that'd be 3, then I have to multiply 2. So I'm thinking 2 rad 3. I could also use my rule, divide by 3, multiply by rad 3. And then for the last piece, we got to double it. It becomes 4 rad 3. Now this one is hard. I don't know how I would divide this by 2 and multiply by rad 2 at the same time. So the easier thing to do is actually ask myself, what times rad 2 would give me rad 10? And the answer to that would be rad 5. Rad 5 times rad 2 is rad 10. And this one we get 2x, so we're going to just go ahead and divide 38 in half. So that's going to be 19. And then we're going to go ahead and do 19 rad 3. Okay? So there we go. Now we get into what we have is the double problems. And so for the double problems, what we kind of want to do is we want to go ahead and label our parts based upon the angle or the number that I have first. So the first one I have is right here. So this is in the x position, the 2x, and then the x rad 3. Okay? So we got 9 here. This is going to be z, which is going to be 2 times 9, which gives us 18. And then this is going to become 9 rad 3. And that doesn't have a value to it, so we're just going to write 9 rad 3. Okay, so now we get pretty tricky because I want to find these two pieces, and now we're in the x rad 2 position. we haven't seen a problem like this before, where we have x rad 2 equal to 9 rad 3. Okay? But we can do it. We can divide by rad 2, rationalize. This becomes 9 over 3 times 2 is 6, and this is 2. Okay, and in fact, that's what we're left with. We can divide 9 by 2, we get 4.5, and so we can do 4.5 rad 6 for both of these. Again, not the neatest one. These don't always turn out so neat. Let's look at 21 now. First of all, I got this. This is in my 2x position. This is in my x position, my x rad 3. So if this is 12, x is going to be half of that, which is 6. And then we're going to get 6 rad 3 right here, which means y is also going to be 6 rad 3 because it's in a 45, 45, 90. And then this is going to be x rad 2. So what we have to do is we have to do 6 rad 3 times rad 2, which is going to be 6 rad 6. Okay, over here, we start out with this piece, and this is x rad 2. So we know that this is 32 right here, and this is going to be 32 rad 2. So that gives us this piece. Now over here, 32 is in the actual 2x position, x and x rad 3. So half of 32 is 16. That's going to be our z, and then 16 rad 3. Alright, so this is 7 rad 3, it's in our x position, this is our 2x position, this is our x rad 3. So double 7 rad 3, we're going to get 14 rad 3. 7 rad 3 times rad 3 is going to be 3 times 7, which is 21. So we get 21 here, and that's going to be the x value for this piece. This is going to be the 2x. So that's going to be 41, sorry, 42. And then that's going to be 21 rad 3. Okay, 15 rad 2, this is going to be 15 and 15. This is in the x rad 3 position, so divide by 3, multiply by rad 3. This is going to end up as 5 rad 3, and that's going to double it over there as 10 rad 3. This is 18. This is going to become, divide by 3 is 6 rad 3. We're going to double that and get 12 rad 3. We're going to divide by rad 2. Rationalize. We get 12 rad 6 over 2, which becomes 6 rad 6 for both of those. Not easy problems. We're going to get more practice with this tomorrow.